guys, it's Eddie the Magic Monk. Eddie the Magic Monk. Eddie the Magic Monk. Eddie the Magic Monk.
Hey guys, Eddie the Magic Monk. In this video, I'm going to talk about why I bought the Gigabyte Aorus FO48U. Now, I'm calling it Aorus because I see a lot of people on YouTube calling it that. But given that Gigabyte is a Taiwanese brand, and when we speak in Mandarin, if we see the letters AO, we actually say OW. So I'm going to call it Aorus. You can keep calling it Aorus if you want, guys, but I'm calling it Aorus. So I'm now going to talk about why I bought this monitor. The Gigabyte Aorus FO48U, a 48-inch monitor, very big monitor. What am I buying it for? I'm basically buying it to play Xbox, to be honest. I mean, I'm pretty happy with my 34-inch monitor, as I've talked about before numerous times. I'm using a Xiaomi 34-inch, but this Aorus 48, it's probably going to be mostly Xbox, maybe playing a couple of games from my PC as well, if I don't want the ultra-wide ratio. Okay, but let's talk about why I bought this monitor. So, in November last year, okay, the story now goes back to November last year, I bought an Xbox Series X. Now, normally I don't buy gaming consoles. The last console I bought was probably a Nintendo Wii or something like that. Because I've always had a PC, I know how to upgrade my PC, I don't mind spending money on graphics cards. So I never bought an Xbox Series, I never bought an Xbox or PlayStation or anything like that. So why did I suddenly buy an Xbox Series X? Basically, I visit a friend. Okay, I visit a friend, I went to his house, played some board games, wasn't even playing video games, just wanted to play some board games. And in the process of doing stuff at his house, he showed me his Xbox Series X. And at the time he said, there is no stock anywhere in Australia. And I thought, how is that possible? Okay, a video gaming console that costs $750 Australian, probably 500 US or something like that. I don't know what the exchange rate is right now. Why would it run out of stock? Because if you have the money, you would buy it. And you'd think that they want to produce as many as people want to buy. Okay, but I Googled some articles, and then I found out why it's out of stock. Basically because the console has the same specs as a PC that costs $2,000 or more. Especially with the graphics card price increase. So if you wanted to buy a PC and play the same games that you're playing with an Xbox Series X smoothly, same graphics settings, you'd be spending over $2,000. But the console was only $750, so you're getting it at less than half the price of a PC. Now, I already have a PC. I already can do video editing and all that pretty easily. But when I try to play the same game that my friend showed me, okay, because he was playing No Man's Sky. So I try to play the same game, and that's when I found that I can't run it on my PC with decent graphics. I have to lower the graphics settings right down to the lowest quality graphics in order to play this game. Right, so that's when I thought, instead of upgrading my PC just to play this game, and I'm going to have to spend thousands of dollars because that's how much graphics cards and all that cost, I might as well just buy the Xbox for $750 and save 50%, more than 50% of my money. Okay, so this is what the game looks like on Google Images. Really cool graphics, really cool world. Planets, you go to different planets and you explore and you mine things and things like that. Really cool multiplayer game. I actually haven't got into it since I got the Xbox Series X, because there are just so many other games, Halo and things like that. Okay, so if you want to know everything that I talked about in more detail, I've got videos on it. Any single link that you see in my OneNote here, I'm going to put it in the video description. But I made a video on why I bought it, okay, pretty much including all this that I talked about. And I unboxed my Xbox and did all that stuff. So if you worried about setting up your Xbox, things like that, just go through my videos. But this is what happened. After I bought my Xbox with my monitor, the monitor that I'm currently using to record this video right now, this is what happened with my monitor. Okay, it's got a 34-inch ultra wide, but Xbox Series X does not support ultra wide. Okay, does not support ultra wide resolution. As a result, there are two vertical sidebars that are not being used. Not being used at all. Totally wasted on the screen. Okay, so what I did was, I thought I'd just ignore that. I thought I can still keep playing with my monitor because, you know, I like to save money. But then I also discovered that with this monitor, even though I can play 1080p resolution, with a 1080p resolution and 120 hertz, which is the faster refresh rate. So the faster the refresh rate, the more smooth the images are. Okay, otherwise you'll be seeing things jump around on the screen. Right? If you change your refresh rate of your monitor to a lower setting and you move your mouse, you can even see the cursors at different stages. So it's basically how smooth the motion is. Right, so I discovered that if I want to have 120 Hertz, which is what the Xbox is capable of, I can only play games at 1080p. Now, this monitor is capable of 1440p. This monitor is capable of 1440p, but if I change it to 1440p, the resolution only goes up to the refresh rate only goes up to 60 Hertz. So if I want to play games at a higher resolution meaning, you know, how clear the pictures are, how many pixels are on the screen. The more pixels are on the screen, the more detail you can see on the screen. So if I want to see the game in more detail, right, really nice graphics, I see things jump around 60 Hertz. So that's not good. Now, this monitor can't go up to 4K. So Xbox Series X is capable of 4K in 120 Hertz. So this monitor wasn't doing the job. Firstly, it does the job really well for a PC because I can play games at 144 Hertz on an ultra wide resolution. On a 1440p resolution and 144 Hertz on my PC, but I just have a really bad graphics card. So, well, not bad in terms of when I got it, it's just not a new one, so it can't run the latest games. So this monitor for Xbox Series X, it just doesn't match. Okay, so then I had a look at what does match. I'm just going to shrink this a little bit. So then I had to look at what does match. Right? What can I buy to make the Xbox? Before I even did that. Okay. So what I tried to do was I tried to see whether the Xbox would work on my living room TV. So in my living room, I have a Kogan 75-inch. I talked about it quite a few times. 4K, Ultra HD resolution. It works great for movies and stuff. Okay, but it can only play on the Xbox at 1080p. It can't go up to 4K. So another thing that the TV wasn't doing well with Xbox is that if I play 1080p at 60 hertz, yes, the screen is really big. It's better than playing on my monitor. But even though my monitor can go 1080p and 120 hertz, so it is slower because you're going 1080p and 60 hertz. So you do see things jump around a little bit, but it's still pretty good. But the real downside with playing it on the TV is that there is input lag. Okay, now if you want to Google input lag monitors, input lag TV, you will see that with monitors, the input lag is a lot better. Okay, a lot less than TV. So the theory is you move your mouse when you're playing a game. When you're looking at a monitor, the mouse cursor moves straight away. But if you're looking at a TV, the mouse cursor might move a few milliseconds after you move it. After you move your mouse, a couple of seconds later, then you see the mouse move. Now, that's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. It's not instant. It's not instant like a monitor is. So my TV, when I'm playing on my TV, right, the downside is if I'm playing a racing game like Forza Horizon 5, I just keep losing every game. I just lost every single game because, well, partly because my driving skills are pretty bad, but I'm saying the input lag will impact because when I see the road is bending, I move my controller to bend it, but it's too late. Too late. The car doesn't steer in time. So that's why my TV wasn't going to work. So then I Googled. Okay, then I Googled what monitor can I buy to play Xbox better. So this is what I found. A 4K 120 hertz monitor will cost over $1,000. 4K, if you want 4K 120 hertz, it's going to cost $1,000. Doesn't matter how small it is. You can pick a 27 inch. If it says 4K 120 hertz, it's going to be over $1,000. Now, over $1,000, that's okay. But what's happening now is if you want something with a bigger size, so I've already got a 34 inch. I'm not going to buy anything smaller than that. All right. 30 something inch. A 43 inch would cost $1,559. This is back in November last year. And a 48 inch, now LG C1. I'm going to talk more about this TV later in this video, but LG C1 48 inch, basically people are saying is the best for playing Xbox. 4K 120 hertz, and it's got OLED. OLED is the one that gives you really crisp image, really high contrast, makes it look really nice. Okay, we'll talk about why the OLED is much better than LED later on. But 48 inch LG C1, that will cost over $2,000. Okay, $2,000 last year in December. $2,000 for an LG C1. So I wasn't going to spend $2,000. Okay, I wasn't even going to spend $1,000 because I didn't want to buy a monitor that is smaller than what I have now and spend over $1,000. So what I bought was a $205 US dollars, but 280 or something Australian dollars monitor, a Dahua 32 inch 4K. Okay, so yes, it only plays at 60 hertz. Okay, 60 hertz is what it's capable of. It's capable of 4K, but only at 60 hertz. So yes, the screen, I can see a lot of detail on the screen. All right, really small things, I can see it, but it jumps around. Okay, now jumps around is exaggerating, but you know what I'm saying. It's not smooth, it's not continuous, it's jumping. So it's okay. All right, I can cope with this monitor. I'm not bothered by it. I play it. But then one day, what happened was I walked into JB Hi-Fi. Okay, I don't normally visit those places anymore because I buy everything online now. But I go to JB Hi-Fi. Okay, and I see what the games are actually meant to look like on an OLED TV. OLED TV basically has really high contrast. Okay, what's meant to be black is black. What's meant to be white is white. All the colors just look really vibrant, really nice image on a OLED TV in the shops. But when I'm playing games at home on my 32-inch Dahua monitor, it just doesn't have that effect. Okay, it doesn't have that effect. So when I go to the shops, I see the latest games, which my Xbox is capable of, but because my monitor isn't up to that standard, I'm looking at basically a game that's meant to look so much better, but it looks like it's from 10 years ago. Even Elden Ring. I played Elden Ring at home on the 32-inch. I'm going to show you a comparison video later on, but Elden Ring playing on my 32-inch, it just didn't do it. It felt like I was playing Quake 2 or something like that. So here are some specifications to show you the comparison. Here is the 48, 120 Hz 4K resolution. This contrast is what I want to show you guys. 135,000 to 1. That's the contrast ratio. So I'm assuming the bigger the number, the better the contrast is. So compared to the Dahua, 3,000 to 1. Okay, so this is almost, I don't know how many times better. 10 times is 30,000. So it's about 40 times better. 40 times better contrast. The Aorus compared to the Dahua. This is the Dahua. Okay, and it's only 60 Hertz, whereas this is 120 Hertz. This one is a lot bigger, 47-inch. This one basically fulfills all my criteria. Okay, and this is what Dahua is. So the main reason why TVs like LG C1, the OLED TV, and the Aorus 48, why they have better pictures for movies and games is because they have OLED. So what's the difference between OLED and normal LED? Is normal LED has a backlight. A backlight lights up all the pixels. So imagine there are, I don't know how many pixels, 2000 by 1000 or whatever. One light source is lighting all them up, a backlight. So even when something's meant to be black, because there's a backlight, it looks a little bit lighter than black. Now, with an OLED, what's happening is each pixel has its own light. Now, you're going to have to read the article to know how it works exactly, because I don't make monitors. But if you imagine each single pixel on the screen, you can either turn it on or off, rather than a whole single backlight illuminating the whole monitor. Okay, each single pixel has its own light. So you can turn each pixel light on and off. So when it's off, it's proper black. What's meant to be black is going to be black on an OLED TV. Okay, that's what's good about it. So that's what you're paying for. That's why I'm paying 5 or 4 times the price. Actually, more like 3 times, 3.5 times the price to get this better monitor. Now, another downside to playing games on the 32-inch Dahua is that because the contrast is not very high, sometimes you can't tell the difference between things on the screen. Okay, so what that means is things just look the same. You got buildings, you got people running around, you got whatever cars, vehicles, or a swimming pool. It's very hard to tell the difference between things when they all look the same, when the color isn't much different. So contrast is very important for you to be able to tell when an enemy shows up. You want to be able to tell that. So that's another thing that I found I was missing, is if I'm playing Call of Duty or something, an enemy shows up, like I don't even see the enemy, so I just get killed. Okay, so basically I need a new monitor. Now, I know I need a 40 plus inch, all right, because I want to sit back and relax. I don't want to have to lean in and stare into the screen. 4K, 120 hertz. It's just for playing games. So I'm looking at C1 again, because LG C1, people say it's the best. Okay, when you read all the reviews, obviously you got to do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. People say C1 is the best, better than Aorus. That's what people are saying. I'm not saying I agree because I haven't seen it. But read your own research. But here is the facts. Okay, I googled LG C1 48 inch, and they still cost about $2,000 in Australia. Okay, now I know this says 1880, but that's, you haven't added delivery unless you want to drive somewhere to pick it up. If you add a bit of delivery, it's very close to 2,000. All right, and some even sell it for more than 2,000, 2,500 even. That's the price of LG C1. What about the Aorus 48? Aorus 48 is now dropped to 1,079. So get this, half a year ago, this same one from memory is 1,800. Now it's 1,079. So it's dropped nearly half the price. It's 50% off basically. Okay, now I still was not going to buy it. Okay, even though it's 50% off, I thought, oh, well, you know, it might come down price even further. I still wasn't going to buy it. But this is what made me buy it, okay? I was browsing prices, and I saw that in America, which is where this website, bhpphotovideo.com, this website is based off a company in America, I'm assuming. If you're from America, you probably know it. Over there, in America, the Aorus is more expensive than the C1. C1 48-inch OLED TV is cheaper in America than the Gigabyte. So somehow Gigabyte is cheaper in Australia. So here is a product that is very similar to the C1, maybe not as good, but it's half the price in Australia, while it's more expensive than the C1 overseas. Okay, so that's why I got it. The Aorus 48. And according to TechRadar, this website, best 120 hertz 4K monitor, you see the Aorus 48 on top. So this is why I bought it. Okay, so I drove to the shop, bought it, put it in my car. It just fit in my car. So if it was a little bit bigger, it probably won't fit, but just fit in my car. You can see it. And you can see the original picture. It's almost as big as me. Okay, very big monitor. And that's basically why I bought it. So I will show you how well it works with my Xbox Series X in the later videos. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.